What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I am in my hometown, Toronto. I'm actually in Thornhill, which is a suburb of Toronto, just north, right on the border of Richmond Hill. I'm at Holy Cross Cemetery. You can see the sun setting. It's only about 4 o'clock, but it gets dark early in winter. Just back from California, and it is 2024. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and for this video, I'm back at a location I've been to before. Now, it's extremely cold. I'm happy to be here though. I just want to say that camera sometimes will freeze. It gets so cold. The weather dropped here in Toronto in the past 2 days since I've been back. It's freezing cold. And cemeteries in the winter are sad. It's just there's something more sad about them. I've always said cemeteries don't have to be sad places. I just said that in a video I filmed 3 days ago in California. They can be happy places where you can go and remember someone, your family. There's kids playing right over here, running around one of their loved ones' graves with their family. But this grave, and with the gray and the winter. Yeah, cemeteries can be sad in the winter. I did a video 4 years ago on Emanuel Jaques, the Shoeshine boy from Toronto. If you're not familiar with the story, there is a link in the description to the video I did, which explains the whole story. I'm going to briefly tell you about it now, because I'm here to visit Emanuel for Christmas. And people ask me all the time, do I ever go back and visit graves? Sometimes I do. And Emanuel is one I've been to a few times because it's not too far from my house, and also it's a story that's heartbreaking and one that really affected me when I did it. And also I was back for a Patreon video. I visited his grave, and you're going to see something interesting here on the grave. Emanuel Jaques, 1977. And briefly, he was taken from the corner of Yonge and Dundas downtown by 3 men, taken to above what you call a sex shop, and taken upstairs and brutally assaulted, and murdered. 3 men were convicted. 1 man that held the door open for them was acquitted. Those 3 men, 1 of them died in prison, 2 are still in prison, and they're never getting out. People talk about the Canadian justice system being too lenient, not for these guys and not for violent criminals. Thank God. Those 2 men will die in prison, thankfully. Little Emanuel was so tiny and so small, and that's what always got me about the story, was how small he was, and the horrific things that happened to him. And he's just a little kid, and he's alone here on Christmas, and I want to do something special, so let's go. And this is from everybody that watches my channel. We're gonna go visit Emanuel for Christmas. Okay, so we're gonna walk straight up here. It's very difficult in the winter to find flat graves, but luckily I had my own video to watch to remember exactly where, because he's not listed on Find a Grave, the exact location. But I've been here a couple times, so I kind of knew. And I ran out from my car to double check that I knew, and found him pretty fast. And first time I came, I left, I think, a red car. And then a couple years ago, I left a blue car. And here he is, and the blue car is still here, which is crazy that it's still here. So, this car has been here for quite a long time, which is very nice. One second. I believe this rock was here as well. So there we go. Now, I brought a few things. Let me just get them out of the bag here. There we go. I thought this was very cool because it's kind of retro 70s. A Matchbox. I don't see a car like that, a box like that for a while. And Hot Wheels. Again, a truck. So we're gonna have 3 cars here. Give me 1 second, let me take them out of the box. I'm gonna put them here on the grave. Okay, so got them out of the packaging. I'm gonna put them right there. I'm gonna add some more things in a moment. So it's freezing cold. This is my friend Dion. Dion is a Toronto police officer. We've known each other quite a long time. Dion is a young lady who looks after Shady, my dog, when I'm away. Now, Dion, as a police officer, she works for Toronto Police. I just want to talk to you quickly, because it's very, very cold, as we know, about missing children. What happens? What happens when a kid goes missing?
So when a child goes missing, it's the highest priority out there, and depending on certain factors have to be met, an Amber Alert goes out, and that alerts the public right across. It beeps on your phones and everything, and it's the highest priority. And there's officers from everywhere are looking for the child. Description goes out, the age. It's very important, and it's tragic. Every division is looking for the child. Specialty units come out and look for the child. We set up a 300-meter search in the immediate area where the child was last seen, and the search never stops. It never stops. There's always going to be officers looking, and the good thing about the Amber Alert is it goes out to the public, and generally if a car was involved, a plate will go over, and Amber Alerts do work. There's been some children that have been found from the Amber Alerts, and it's a tragic case, and basically that's what happens.
We were talking, and also you mentioned depending on weather, and I didn't understand that at first. We were just speaking about in the car. When it's cold, when it's something like this, it's a little bit of a higher priority, because not necessarily the child has been kidnapped. It could be the child's missing, wandered off. So when it's cold like this.
Yes, when it's very cold, we had a story several years ago where it was a day like today, and a little boy woke up and walked out of his house and went missing, and unfortunately it didn't end too well.
Oh, I remember that story. That's right.
Yes, but so there's certain factors that it's a race against time. It's a race against the conditions. For instance, like today, little children go out missing. They may not be dressed for the weather. They may not have shoes on. So it really depends. It's the same with the winter too. If it's the summer. If it's a really hot day,
right.
Same thing.
Right. And there are 2 other things we were saying. For 1977, the response to look for Emanuel was fast. There hundreds of police officers were on it and looking for Emanuel, and sadly it did not. It was a sad outcome. But also, for a huge city, when a child goes missing in Toronto, it's a big story, and it doesn't happen that often, especially when a child is a stranger danger, kidnapped by a stranger. And I mean, we can list off. We list off Holly Jones, Alison Perrott, Nicole Moran,
yes.
Sharon Morningstar Keenan,
yes.
Emanuel Jaques. We remember all these cases because it's rare for a big city. Yeah. So Toronto is safe. Somewhat, but I mean, watch your kids and
keep them close, hug them. Try and teach them stranger danger.
Yeah. Okay, so we got something else we're going to put here for Emanuel right now. Are you as cold as I am? It's wow. Little Emanuel right here. So we just bought a few other things that we're going to put on the grave. Somebody's got a nice blue wreath here, and we're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna arrange this for Emanuel right here. And I know that he does have some family left. I think they're still in Toronto, so maybe they're coming out here. I'm glad my truck is still here, and that rock that somebody else left, but I'm glad to see a wreath here for him. So we managed to spruce it up a bit thanks to this wreath. We were able to put some garland. Is that garland? Is that called garland? Garland. Into the back of the wreath. Put a Merry Christmas sign. Added that wreath to his grave. It's covering his name, but if anybody wants to come out here, you'll be able to find him with all of this. This is stuck in pretty well. And I want these cars to be here when I come back in the spring or summer. There we go. So the story, like I said, if I wasn't clear, it was about 2 or 3 days later. I think it was about, I will put a link in the description to my previous video where I went to all the locations having to do with this horrific crime. And yeah, he was taken, and that fourth guy that held the door open for the 3 men that took him upstairs, they said that what they bribed him with the money to help move photography equipment. That's how they got him to leave the corner where he was shining shoes with his brother and a friend. His brother and a friend went back to ask their parents if they could do it, and Emanuel wandered off with these evil men. And like I said, one man held the door while they took him upstairs, and he got acquitted. And that too, I still get angry about that. I think he should have been held fully responsible. One of the what they did to him, you just watch my story if you can, or look it up. I hope Emanuel is resting peacefully, and Merry Christmas. So that was coming back to Emanuel Jaques' grave for Christmas 2024. And Dion, thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So, see you guys on the next video. Stay warm. Peace out.